Back here on the PAC Sports Network for our halftime show as we're at the break between Chatham and Westminster. And we're now joined by the head coach of the Chatham men's basketball team, Coach David Richards. Coach, first off, thanks so much for joining us today. I know your team's been playing some really good basketball this year, but how would you assess how things have been up to this point of the season?
Well, thanks for having me, Jack. We're very pleased with, how we've played so far throughout the year. I think we've put ourselves in a great position going into the second half of pack play. But I think with everyone knows is how competitive and how good this league is. So, even though we've played very well up to this point, we still got to, work every day, continue to practice and get better. The second half of league play is going to be, very, very tough.
Well, I know you guys had quite the tune-up for PAC play in the non-conference schedule. Started with an exhibition game against Robert Morris, and then you play a nationally ranked Carnegie Mellon team. So how have you seen those early season games and those early season tests start to pay off for your team recently?
Yeah, I think it's been huge for us. It's one of the reasons why we played that, those tough non-league games, because we knew how good the league was going to be this year. And I think playing those early tough games just prepare you for those close games in league play. I mean, a lot of games come down to 1-2 possessions, and your guys got to be ready, to handle those situations. And we played Carnegie Mellon, who's a terrific offensive team, very good defensive team. They really tested us. We played Carthage down in Nashville. They play in one of the top Division III leagues in the country in the CCIW, and they really tested us. So I think those really non-conference games have prepared us for the tough schedule in league play.
I'm glad you bring up the Nashville trip. I did see that on the schedule. What was that like, getting the guys away from campus and getting them to bond in a different environment?
It was a great trip. Very, very easy travel-wise. We had a direct flight to Nashville, so it was a very good trip for us. We played two really good teams. I mean, Carthage was a very good team. Lancaster Bible was another very good team who, we lost to by 4 in our second game. So it was a great trip. The guys had fun. We got to go down to Broadway for a night and hung out, went to dinner, got some good barbecue. So it was a great trip, for us playing wise, but also for, the team experience.
Well, I know that you guys obviously have carried that momentum back from Nashville back here to the Steel City with you guys recently. But I want to get into a couple of the guys on the team, because you've once again been able to bring back a lot of returners, but also some new guys as well into the fold. One of the key guys, Dion Pinkett, he's been one of the top players, really one of the top two-way players in the PAC over the last 2 seasons. What makes him such a tough cover offensively for teams, for a night-in, night-out basis?
One, he's in the gym nonstop working on his game. He's one of those guys we don't have to worry about to get in the gym, get shots up. He works on his game nonstop, and that's all credit to him. And his motor is just so high. He does not stop when he's playing. There's times where we don't even run plays for him, and next thing you know, he has 17 points and 8 rebounds. You're like, how do you do that? His motor is just so high, and he just makes plays on his own. I think that's what makes him, really good, really tough guy to guard. He does a great job getting downhill to his left hand. He's really hard to stop when he get down to his left hand. I think when teams try to take that away and sit off him, he can make shots now at a pretty high level. So, when he's making shots and he can get down to his left hand, he's really hard to guard.
Well, I know that Dion has obviously probably enjoyed playing with a new guy that you brought in from the transfer portal in Lovinson Xavier, and he's been a really nice addition offensively, defensively. What part of his game do you feel has really started to gel and really start to mesh with this group recently?
Yeah, Love's been great for us all year. I mean, I think his ability to score inside and score outside has been huge for us. I think he's a big mismatch problem for our league. When teams put smaller guards on him, he has the ability to score inside. And then he's one of our top 3-point shooters as well. He's shooting 39% from 3. So his ability to shoot from the outside and score inside, has been great for us. Then he's always guarding one of the team's opposing best players too. So he has a lot of responsibilities, and he's been great for us. And we're going to look for him to make big plays on the stretch. I think as long as he keeps playing at a high level, it just helps our team out so much.
And then you also brought back a very consistent player, someone that's been one of the best guards in the PAC over the last few years, in Blaine Gartley. Really the driving force, I would say, both offensively and defensively for your team. How have you seen his leadership start to grow over the years? And in this season in particular, how have you seen him maybe take even a step further in that leadership this season?
Yeah, Blaine's been a 4-year starting point guard for us. And our guys will probably tell you that pretty hard on our point guards. And he's been a leader since day one, since he's been a freshman here. And he's just got, better each year with his leadership skills. And, there's days in practice when I don't even got to get on guys because, he's doing it. So having him in the program has been absolutely huge for us. He's one of those guys where we don't got to run a play for him, and he's going to make an impact on the game. With his playmaking skills, his defensive skills, his leadership, he leaves an imprint on the game without scoring a bucket. And I think he's one of the most important players in our league because he can do that.
You also have another player that I think has been just as tenured and just as regular on the roster in Simon Boyer. And he continues to also be a regular in terms of the scoring and the offensive impact for your team. How has he kind of been an example of this program and what it means to be a part of this program? And how does he kind of embody what you preach here at Chatham University?
Yeah, I mean, Sai's been great, every single year he's been here. And he's another one of those guys that's in the gym nonstop. Like right now, he's in the gym right now shooting. So he works on his game every single day. He gets shots up every single day. And he shows the young guys, how hard you got to work, to be good in this league. And, he's having a very good year for us. He's a very multi-dimensional scorer. He can make threes. He gets to the rim. He has a very good mid-range game. So I think he's one of the best, multiple dimensional scorers in our league. And we just look for him to continue to make big plays for us down the stretch. I actually think, he's going to really step up towards the end of this year for us.
Well, once again, it's another really strong roster that's been built out by you for what could be another big run and a deep run in the PAC this season, Coach. Before we let you run it, and obviously a big thanks to you for stopping by, but I'm curious to hear from you, what part of this team, what characteristic, what aspect it might be, do you feel that could carry your group back to that PAC title game and get back to being champions of the league once again?
Yeah, I think what this team has is a very good competitive edge and an edge on the defensive side. They really take it personal to be a good defensive team. And we've kind of been stressing that since day one in practice. And this group has bought into that, and they understand how good you have to be on the defensive side to win games. I mean, there's a lot of good offensive players in our league, and if you're not ready to compete and defend, you're going to get beat almost every night. So I think this team really understands that, like, our defense and our rebounding and our competitive edge has got to be top notch, every single night, to put ourselves in a great spot at the end of the year.
Well, as always, Coach, really excited to see how the rest of the season goes for you and the Cougars. Once again, thanks so much for stopping by, and good luck the rest of the year.
Thanks.
That's Chatham men's basketball head coach David Richards. Don't move a muscle. We've got more second half action all coming up next right here on the PAC Sports Network.